Howdy gang, Trailblazer Tim here. Today I'm coming to you guys from my new location full-time in my RV, and we're going to whip together a kick-ass little meal for you. I hope you stick around and check it out. So I want to apologize to everybody right out of the gates that I haven't been posting as much. Been going through a lot of changes in my life lately. Not to mention the fact that my videos are going to look a little bit different probably for another couple months. Just for the fact being is I really don't have any Wi-Fi here, so anything that I'm doing I have to upload through my cellular data that's on my phone through my iMac, MacBook, whatever you want to call it, laptop. But we're going to do the very best we can, do this mobile and show you how it's done. All right, so we're on the topic of Cinco de Mayo Mexican style food here for Cast Iron Wednesday. I'm going to try a new recipe I've never tried before. It's either going to be great tasting or it's going to stink. And this recipe is called Chiorzo Con Papas, Gordito. Now everybody knows what Chiorzo is, but Con Papas stands for with potato. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 3 potatoes and we're going to peel these and we're going to dice them up and set them aside to go with our Chiorzo. Got our potatoes kind of diced up. I'm going to take a little bit of some beef broth, just a little bit. We're going to go ahead, we're going to add that in there. Now remember, these potatoes are raw, so once we get them on the cast iron skillet, that'll give that something to soften them things up before we add it in with the Chiorzo. Time to make the tortillas. All right, so the first thing we're going to need to make our tortillas is some masa harina, also known as corn flour. We're going to take 2 full cups of our corn flour. Here's the first one. See, one more in there. Corn flour, masa harina. Second cup. All right, that's all of the masa harina. I'm going to kind of set that aside for a second. Put a little clip on here. We are working outside here now. Set that aside. Now we need to have 1 tablespoon, or teaspoon, excuse me, of salt. In there, 1 teaspoon of salt, just like that. As well as 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Not soda, baking powder. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, just like that. Before we get involved too much more, we need 1 full tablespoon of vegetable oil. Let's see if we can make this happen. 1 full tablespoon of vegetable oil, just like that. That's it. That's all there is to it. Now give me just a second. I'm going to put some gloves on. We're going to mix this together. All right, now that we have the masa harina as well as some baking powder and some salt in here, we're going to add exactly 1.5 cups. This is a cup, but it only has 1.5 cups of water into it. Kind of like that. And we're going to mix this all up with our hands inside of a nice bowl and stuff. Apologize about the outside sounds and stuff. I'm at a campground right now, so there are other people around. It's a little bit of a distraction, to say the least. We have to mix this around until we make ourselves a nice dough. Now, what you want to do is make it so it's not really going to be sticky. You want it all together. Now, if you run a little bit short on it maybe being dry or something, you can always add by the teaspoon or tablespoon more water, but you don't want this to be a soupy mess by any means at all. And you can see what we're kind of consistency working with right now. And just keep on kneading that thing. I wear gloves because you know what, it's easier to just stay in control of things instead of messing your hands all up. Once you're done, just take the gloves off and get ourselves a really nice consistency. I'm going to take this out and we're going to put it down on the cutting board, and I'm going to show you what we're going to do with it next. This looks great. There we go. Look at that. Nice ball sitting here. What we're going to do is we're going to pinch a piece off, probably about the size of a baseball. Just about like that. Pick up our own little slices and stuff. Now, we're not making traditional tortillas. We're going to make them a little bit thicker. Take our little mini roller and just kind of roll it out. The reason why we're making this just a little bit thicker is because we're going to end up cutting the center of this, making it into sort of like a pocket, which is what makes it into a gordita. So let's get this first one ready to go. Got enough on that dough ball to make probably about 4 of these. I'm gonna show you how we're gonna do this. There you go. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Like I said, they're a little bit thicker, all right? Because we want them to cook where I can actually take and I can open that up into like a pocket. And that's where our goodness and our food is gonna go. Next up, time to fire up the grill. Oh, look at those babies. 3 minutes on each side. Careful, easy as she goes. I don't want to bust this thing open. There we go. Getting a nice little shell to it. Never done this before. Oops. Foul recovery. I don't want to compromise any of this. Ooh, look at that. Right there they are, the tortillas. Hopefully I did them enough. We're gonna throw another towel over top of them. And I'm gonna take them inside and I'm just gonna set them and let them rest inside of the microwave, and then we'll get started on the second part of this meal. Like I told you, I'm at a campground right now. I feel like I'm at the Galapagos Islands because there's these giant gopher turtles that are just hanging out around camp. Crazy, man. Time for the taters. Oh, it's oozing out of there. Let's get this over the grill before we get too big of a mess. Oh, Mexican sausage. Let's try to get all that goodness in there. Squeeze it out of there. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. You ain't never had it. Don't down it. Now, this should render a little bit of fat. There's not a lot, but we need to cook it all up together. And this is going to be what fills our gordita with all the tastiness. All right, so we got our goodness off the grill and everything, and we're gonna put the lid back on it, and we're gonna catch up to you. It's still a little bit early in the day. I'm not ready to eat, and when we are, we're going to taste our rewards inside the RV. So I'll catch up to you in just a little bit.
Look, you space cadet. We gotta come to some kind of an agreement. If we're gonna watch this, then it's half mine, it's one of yours. If we're gonna watch anything, it's gotta be something that we agree on. Well, all right, I guess we can find something to agree on.
All right, so we're inside the RV, and we've had a couple beers and a couple drinks and stuff like that. Inside of there, as you can see, oh, there we are. We're gonna take one of our good little biscuits, and we're gonna set them down right there. That's sour cream. We've got some fresca, and we have the Chiorzo surprise, the Con Papas, and we're gonna put this all together and see how things happen. So let's do it. Now this is what I've been most apprehensive about, seeing how this thing actually breaks apart. I want to be able to open and split this thing up. This is masa harina. And if I can open this up and make a pocket of it, then we're good. I don't want this to crumble apart like it's like something that I can't do. I want to pocket out of this. And I got to be really careful about this and just like deeply cut this thing. I don't want a lot of open end. I want a pocket. I don't want it to turn out to be like this huge deal. Look, it's a pocket. Oh, let's get a little more out of this. Let's try. I am doing the best I can. See that? That's a pocket. And that's where we're going to put our goodies into. So let's see what we can get out of this. Alright, so here's our gordita. It is a tortilla here, homemade, with sour cream up inside of here. Let's go ahead and try some of those Chiorzo Con Papas inside of here. Now this is going to be tough. This is what I worried about the entire time. Is stuffing this thing without blowing this thing out. Let's see if we can do this. I don't know if I can or not. See what I'm doing? Alright, some Fresco. Got some homemade Gorditos. Frescos. Mexican crumbly cheese. I'm just going to throw it all over top of that thing. I'm going to blow it all out. Because every bit of this is absolutely delicious. Nothing's complete without a little bit of Texas Pete. Now, this Chiorzo actually has a bit of a bite to it. It's going to fall apart a little bit. We're going to give it a little bit of Texas Pete. And we're going to chow down on some authentic Chiorzo Con Papas Gordita. This thing is homemade masa harina. The true taste of corn tortilla. There's no word for it. Wow. Oh my God. All right, so I'm going to save you all from the inebriation from the end of the original video because I was actually getting shit-faced at the time. Chiorzo Con Papas Gorditos with masa harina. Okay, that is pretty much just corn flour, homemade, with Chiorzo and potatoes. It turned out absolutely amazing. Of course, when you have a buzz going on, everything's tasty, but trust me, it's the true corn flour taste. It's a very easy and recognizable recipe. You can look it up on Pinterest or on the internet, whatever you want to do. It was absolutely delicious. And this is my hat in the ring for a Cast Iron Wednesday this week, this month, when it comes down to the Mexican style food. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Till next time, I'll see you all on the next adventure. Take care.